then, of course, Mr. Venkatesh. Venkatesh, of course, embarrasses me sometimes because when the case began in Patiala House, um, he was called in as a witness. I mean, he was my witness. But every hearing, the judge asked me, "Where is Venkatesh?" because he had the clarity to present a very complicated subject in simple language. And I will say that he contributed heavily to our success in what nobody thought would happen. Summons issued against Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Motilal Vora, Oscar Fernandez, Sam Pitroda, Suman Dubey. These six people, summons was issued. And look how fast we went. It was 2013, and on 2014, in the early part of 2014, we got summons issued. And then, of course, the delay process started. Now, who's responsible and all, maybe if we have time, we can discuss it. But the fact is that the stage today we are in is a very important stage. And now the National Herald case is grown into an umbrella of 5 cases. My original case, where I've said there has been a conspiracy to defraud the public. Then I spoke about the criminal misappropriation of somebody else's territory, some property. And then the question of cheating. So, there are 4 major sections of the IPC which we had put on them. Then after that, the income tax got into the act, because these people were earning money out of the process and not reporting it. And so the income tax has done a tremendously good job. I mean, their documentation is superb. I don't have to do any more documentation. The income tax, the judgment of the income tax, which then went to the tribunal. From tribunal, it went to the High Court, and all the way Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, etc. lost, and now it's gone to the Supreme Court, and we hope very soon there also a decision will be taken. And on that also, that means they are going to suffer on that. Then there is the question of having got all this land. I mean, the amount of land, buildings that National Herald Building Associated Journals Limited has got is just unbelievable. Remember, it was started during the what they call as the freedom struggle. 1937, some people got together, 10 people. Jawaharlal Nehru was one of them. Kripalani was other. They were all the well-known top leaders. It was not a congress only. Socialists were there, and others were there. Hindu Mahasabha was there. So they all got together and shelled out money. And the least money shelled out was Jawaharlal Nehru, 10 rupees for one share. And but still, they all said that you know English best of all. So for National Herald, you be the chairman of it. 1947, he became prime minister, so he got somebody else. But he used the government facilities to give the National Herald maximum. So Bahadur Shah Zafar Mark, a huge plot for almost pittance was given. They have built a huge building there, and in that huge building they began renting it out to Tata, the computer center, TCS, or what's it called, banks, Indian Ministry of External Affairs, Passport Office. And even today, the Narendra Modi's government has not made the External Affairs Ministry quit that place, and they're giving a fat revenue rent to the National Herald, which presently all that money is going to Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. So that was there, and so there are about 5 cases, and there are some cases in the states also because they have properties in the states. So This is the saga. Now, what is the crime? The crime was this: that Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Motilal Vora, Oscar Fernandez, Sam Pitroda, Suman Dubey got together and created a company called Young Indian. And all the money they could collect for the paid up capital was just 5 lakhs. So I started a company with 5 lakhs. After it was started, a little before they had the company was came into being, the Associate Limited Journals Limited, which was publishing National Herald plus one Hindi and one Urdu, they in 2008 they closed down the entire printing operations and said we have a debt which we can't service, and that debt belongs to Congress Party because the Congress Party was giving us loans, and the loans have added up to 90 crores. So these 90 crores we cannot return to Congress. So we are closing down all the staff. Everybody is removed. I mean, they just cleaned it up. So anybody who was to get the building now would get a clean building. So it's all cleaned up by the Congress Party on the grounds that the AGL could not pay back the loan. And who is the chairman of the board of directors? It was Motilal Vora, who is also was also a director in Young Indian. So was your Oscar Fernandez there, and there was Suman Dubey, Sam Pitroda. They were all part of the board of directors. Now, then what happened is the Young Indian met and they decided that Motilal Vora, who is the shareholder, a small shareholder, I mean, the big shareholders that time was 76% was owned by mother and son. Now, then it went to 80 after some time. And now, after the death of Motilal Vora and Oscar Fernandez, they have got 100% of Young Indian. But anyway, that's in the recent development. So they had a meeting and they decided that Motilal Vora will go to Congress Party and tell them that lo and behold, they have closed down Associated Journals Limited, and 90 crores that you lent is gone, it's finished. They have declared bankruptcy. So it is now a dud loan that you have given. So just to see that you people are, not, I mean, your party workers and all are not badly feeling, we will give you 50 lakhs. Now, how is a 5 lakh company, Young Indian, going to give 50 lakhs? That's another story I'll just come to in a minute. So they said, we'll give you 50 lakhs and you sign this entire loan to us. So for 50 lakhs, the Congress Party, signed over the loan of the so-called loan. Why I'm saying so-called loan, I'll tell you in a minute. Loan of 90 crores to Young Indian. So now, but who did this wonderful negotiations from both sides? In the side of the Young Indian, of course, it was Motilal Vora. But who was not doing it on the side of the Congress? The treasurer of Congress Party. Who is the treasurer of the Congress Party? Motilal Vora. So Motilal Vora spoke to Motilal Vora, and both of them then signed, one as the treasurer of the Congress Party and another the office bearer, and they agreed that this loan will now belong to Young Indian. After that, Young Indian went to discuss. Motilal Vora was sent to Associated Journals Limited to discuss how they can see that they can get some benefit out of this 90 crores. So who was the chairman of the board of directors of Associated Journals Limited, which was publishing National Herald? Motilal Vora. So Motilal Vora again went and talked to Motilal Vora, and they came to the conclusion that the a company will issue 9 crores shares of 10 rupees each and hand it over to the young Indian. Now, that's breaking all the rules of corporate affairs. But anyway, look at this. Why I'm saying look at this? First of all, Congress party should not have given 50 lakhs on for 50 lakhs, 90 crores, because they could have got the 90 crores itself. Why? How? They could have asked the company law board or the registrar of companies to take over the company and auction it. And from the auction money, because the National Herald, that is Associated Journals, had more than 2,000 crores. I thought they had 5,000 crores, but conservatively 2,000 crores. 2,000 crores they had, so they could have easily compensated Congress, they could have compensated the other shareholders and all that. But they didn't do that, and because it was a conspiracy. And therefore, the Motilal Vora was told, issue 9 crore shares of 10 rupees each. So that's 90 crores. And give it to us. Some in the name of Rahul Gandhi, some in the name of Sonia Gandhi. So the board meeting was called, and in that the other shareholders were there for ages. The one of the Supreme Court judges by name Karju, his father had bought the shares. He was also invited. So then Prashant's father, who is a lawyer, his father was the head of shares. He was also not allowed. Nobody was called of the existing shareholders, which are about 1,559 people. They were not called. They just held it and passed it, and that's how it came to the hands of the National Herald. Now, a few things are left over. Where did they get this money of 50 lakhs? They got this money by going to a company called Dotex in Calcutta. And Dotex in Calcutta, without any surety, whatever that's called for giving loans, that none of that, they gave 1 crore zero interest loan to a young Indian. But in their diary, they put donation. In National Herald diary, in budget documents, it is put as loan. So 50 lakhs they kept, 50 lakhs they gave to Congress party so that they can give them 90 crores in return. Now, where did this? How did this company give them this 1 crore? Is it against something, some account? It turns out that that's where the Enforcement Directorate investigation started. I had given this in 2014 itself, but Jet Li intervened and he stopped it. And again in 2018, I gave a detailed charge sheet, and that is my charges, and therefore now 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 4 years later, they have registered a case, and they have summoned both Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, and they can't summon others because Pitroda and Sumant Dubey, they don't have any shares, and Motilal Vora and the other director is dead. So in that, these two are called. Of course, Sonia has got corona, and Rahul Gandhi is stuck in London, and so they've asked for different timings. I'm sure that some timing will be worked out in June, and they will have to. That's an open shut case. Why? Because that Dotex company in Calcutta only does money laundering for foreign exchange. So Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi must have given them in dollars, and they have given them rupees. And so I think that is also an open shut case. Now, income tax, they found that money which they are not supposed to appropriate because they had created it as a zero profit company, they had pocketed. So that income tax has now asked them to give 492 crores of unpaid taxes, and this is only for 2 years, and more years is to come. This is from 2011. So how many years now are left? I think they won't have any money left after all these are collected. So there's a second case. That is, the first case is the money laundering case, which is now in the public. The second case is the income tax, which is already completed, and they were given this claim, the entire documents. They went to the High Court. High Court said first go to the tribunal. They went to the tribunal, they lost. They came to the High Court, they lost, and now they're going to Supreme Court. And for some reason, the Advocate General, Attorney General, Solicitor General is not showing any enthusiasm about having the case heard. But now I think I'll put a bomb in it, and maybe he will do it. But that's also open shut. Everything I did, the Congress went all the way to Supreme Court. When I got the summons, they went to the High Court and lost there. They went to the Supreme Court, they lost there. And of course, I didn't have any lawyers at that time. And MRV was too busy to help me in this. I think he had some urgent engagements. Anyway, the timings didn't suit him. So I argued all these myself and won it at every level. And finally, they were summoned to come and take bail, give a surety, and that is, each of them had to name some individual who can be arrested in case they run away after bail. So Sonia Gandhi gave Anthony, Rahul Gandhi gave Priyanka, who was weeping all through the proceedings, and of course similarly the others gave their names. So before I conclude and hand it over to our friend here, M.R. Venkatesh, I'd like to say that as far as the 4 charges of cheating, criminal misappropriation, and criminal breach of trust, and conspiracy, they are in the final stages. Where am I today? There's one document I wanted. The lower court mistakenly said, no, you can't take it now. After the cross-examination is over, then only you can take it. When the Indian Penal Code and the CRPC clearly says that while the Section 244 hearing is going on, during the hearing you can get any document that you seek for. So I have come to the High Court to ask the High Court to quash the lower court bad decision. And so after that we'll start moving. Once these documents come, then it's a final argument whether charges should be framed. Once these four things, they all add up. By the way, if I add them up, it comes to about 18 years of imprisonment. But there is one other 409, which I have yet not included as the 5th charge, and that is life imprisonment. So if according to the criminal law, if a person who is a public person has been able to do a private transaction of this kind, then you can give punishment up to life imprisonment. It's very, very, very 409. I think it's been rarely used, if I'm not wrong. But anyway, there you are. So everything is set. We have got a prima facie case proved, namely that they are guilty. Now it is their turn, by cross-examining me, cross-examining our friend here, MRV, and cross-examining Gopi. Gopi, you know what a trickster he is. He wrote an innocent email to Rahul Gandhi saying that you have now taken over National Herald, congratulations, but are you going to start a newspaper? And he said, no, nothing of the kind. We have nothing to do with newspapers. So that goes against them because they've been trying to argue in court. No, we are only because the paper was doing badly. Now we are going to start a newspaper. They have started some kind of a National Herald, but that's not being printed in Bahadur Shah Zafar Marg. It's not being printed in the Herald House. It is being printed in Indian Express. So, it won't allow. So, housing development, if Hardeep Puri stops going abroad and to Ukraine and God knows where all he keeps going and concentrates on this, in 2 weeks, that building can be taken over the government. We have already won it at the level of the High Court. It's now lying in Supreme Court. It's an easy matter, but Hardeep Puri doesn't seem to have any time. He's going around gallivanting around the world. I don't know why Urban Development Ministry should be traveling around the world because it's all properties all within India. But anyway, there have been many delays. Some people also feel bad that Swamy is taking all this publicity and so on. But I'm also hardworking. We got friends. We got a team. Now we got Satya has also come. He's just graduated and done about 1 year as a lawyer, and we have got Vishesh Kanodia. So we got earlier on we had Ishkaran, but now he's grown so big that he has too many cases. So I thought I'll give him relief by let him pursue his career. So therefore, today all we need is regular hearing, not long adjournments, and you will see that they will have to spend a long time in jail. And people never thought they will ever be even called to the court and asked on a summons and then take bail. Nobody ever thought like that. But it happened. And at that time, I did not ask them for their imprisonment because when you are not convicted and you put in jail, then it's only a matter of time before you come out after all the interrogations are over. And then, of course, during that time, the Congress fellows will do bhajans outside Tihar jail, create a big nuisance. So I thought, let them get convicted. But the Prime Minister has been saying, bail Gadi, well, for all the hard work, he's getting some benefits. I'm very happy. I hope he's grateful. But today, on 5 different angles, we are fighting. This is not only National Herald case of some building being taken over, but it's a cheating. There is a question of money laundering. There is a question of misuse of the buildings. So many income tax. So all these put together, we don't need any more cases against Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi because this is enough to keep them out of the political picture for a long time. So over to MRV, who is our Sherlock Holmes, and he will be able to tell us now some of the intricacies that lie ahead and have in the past we have overcome. Plus this cheating, all these things put together with that 409, which I'm going to add very soon, section 409 of the IPC, which says that if you are in the public, if you're a public servant and you do fraud, then it is life imprisonment. Now, what can I do? I mean, the law must, be. We have to fight for the law. I didn't come in. It's not my fault that you went and did this fraud and tried to make money this way. So, if they go to jail and for life, well, they could change their citizenship and run away. That's another matter, but that's between Amit Shah and them. I have nothing to do. Although I have there also a petition lying that he is not an Indian citizen because he has taken British citizenship. And Amit Shah is just sitting on it. He won't, act on it. I don't know why. But anyway, so he has, MRV has beautifully explained it. And the question is that you just have to understand. In the end, I would like to say, National Herald was a newspaper printed by Associated Journals, and it declared bankruptcy because it couldn't pay 90 crores given by Congress. Congress never gave them 90 crores. So they committed perjury also, because on oath they have said we gave. So perjury is also one more charge we'll have to add. So there's no 90 crores, and on the basis of the fact that 90 crores could not be paid, you created 9 crores of 10 rupees each shares and gave the board members of Young Indian 99.1% of the shares of AJL, Associated Journals Limited. So, I mean, this is a gigantic fraud. I think in the world, it will become world's biggest fraud. I'm telling you, once all these 4 different investigation, income tax, and this housing development, housing matter, and housing ministry matter, and then this ED, all these put together, I would say that this will become a classic text for every detective school and every IPS exam and so on. It's such a big thing, and I have to thank my colleagues. I must mention one colleague who first saw it and brought it to my attention, and that is J. Gopikrishnan. Such a simple-looking guy. He's a journalist in Pioneer, and he came to me and he said, "This is there." And then we sat together. There were two young lawyers. Some of them are now they have independent practice. We all sat together and we drew up. We pieced it all together. We couldn't get documents, but slowly started getting documents. And so now we are in this situation where I would say that this would be a big plus for BJP. So don't feel jealous if I get credit. The BJP is going to be the ultimate beneficiary, and BJP fighting corruption. This will be stand by itself enough for at least 3 more general elections.